So Joe's in here, right? And he's the hero that we unfortunately had by process of elimination. And he came up with a plan to rescue us called the American Rescue Plan.
1.9 trillion.
Notable.
That's that. I said 1.9 trillion is the number as of now.
I hope that's good. But the thing that caught my eye was direct payments of $1,400, bringing the total up to 2Gs. I think they just mentioned that just to say the 2G stuff, and then including that includes the $600 payments. They're going to increase your per week unemployment benefit to 400, extending it to September, bro. Right now they're just like, yo, fuck it. We already know through the summer you probably going to be able to work.
I'll take it.
They put the federal minimum wage up to 15. I'm not sure what that's about, but whatever snuck in there. You want to say something?
That's not happening. I can't see that happening. That's that's wishful thinking.
Republicans ain't gonna stand for that.
That's wishful. A lot of Democrats don't want to fuck with that because you have to think about it. But you have to think about it. Like, I don't know the ins and outs, but like it sounds good. But $15, like if you go to like a rural America, like will businesses be able to pay their employees that much? Like Walmart, sure. Like if you're a certain size, fuck. Like you're getting robbed if you're not getting paid at least 15, for working for a big chain. But I don't know if small businesses in like rural parts of America could afford that, So I don't know. But I think it's one of those things where it has to be like evaluated, where it's like state by state. But there does need to be some sort of, I don't know. It's hard, man. It's real hard because. To me,
no, go ahead, continue.
No, I was just saying it's a real hard thing because, it makes sense in a place like New York, or it makes sense in, high income cities. It makes sense for that to apply to like large businesses, but like small businesses and like, Main Street America, I don't know if that's sustainable, but I don't know. I don't know the economics behind it, but I'm just basing it on what I know. I don't know how feasible that is.
It's a good starting spot. That's what I surmised from my research over the past week about what House Democrats and House Republicans and Senate Republicans and Senate independents and whatnot, they all agree that, okay, we have an adult in office now. He actually has a plan. We actually have something to start with. Because you just do a rough comparison, bro. We got to the CARES Act, the 2.4 trillion, I believe, that got passed, that actually went through or whatnot. That was the last one, and that was bipartisan. That went through. That was great. It was a good starting spot or whatnot. But if you think about everything and all the fuckery after that, the White House didn't even come up with the 1.8 trillion, I believe, that they were trying to pass until after months and months and months and weeks of freaking back and forth, and Steve Mnuchin and Meadows and Pelosi and Schumer playing reindeer games. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. like how much time had to elapse before, the White House was able to come up with something. Now, freaking a day in to, actually he came out with this, Biden came out with this days before he got inaugurated. He's like, listen, I've got a bill in place, boom, that we can start with. Obviously, we can negotiate it or whatnot, but this right here is, we can hit the ground running with this. And if we got to make amendments to it and change little bits and pieces here and there, he feels confident that he can do that. Because there's no economist that I've heard of, to go back to Ed Boy's point, that's like, yo, cash in Americans' hands is not a bad thing. Especially now, if you want the economy to have any type of realistic shot of turning around by realistically the second quarter of this year, you have to put cash in its citizens' hands. You have to. There's no way around it.
Yeah.
So of course going back to the two Georgia Senate seats that were won, that changed the majority. They ran Ossoff and Warnock. They ran on giving citizens money. It's not a hard concept. We want to give you money. So if you run for us, if you vote for us, we will enable that. Not a hard concept. Not a hard concept. The economy sucks. Citizens can't work. Give them money so the economy is better. Not hard. Not hard at all. It's literally
so.
easy.
A few other things included in this plan is them extending the eviction and foreclosure moratoriums until the end of September. I also heard some random stuff about like people, like landlords not respecting and that these stuff put into place to prevent people from getting evicted, and like some landlords are just doing some dirtbag shit.
Because I mean,
I don't know if it's true, right? This could be like just meme central, just convincing me of something else.
Well, it wouldn't. It's not too far fetched because I've heard that too. I've watched a couple of news stories about that, because you got to think about it. These landlords, yeah, some of them are douchebags, some of them are trash people, but not all of them. You see what I'm saying? Like they're up against it as well. Like they've got freaking mortgages and freaking bills to meet, and if they got tenants that aren't working and can't pay for it, they're as assed out as the tenants, because they're going to lose that property. And if they lose that property, you see what I'm saying? It's a cycle.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It's like the money still has to be paid eventually. It's just like you're not paying it now, so it's just kind of accumulating. Or is this like a case by state cases? I guess situation.
Yeah, it's not a freeze. It's not like loans. Like it's a completely different situation. Like loans, they've frozen loans. I can say this because I've got loans from Penn State. Like they've frozen the loans with no interest. So it's in forbearance now. I'm not paying anything toward it, but when it's goes back on in whatever September or whatever month, Biden decides to cut the faucet back on. Yeah, I'm still going to owe it, but there's not going to be this outstanding $5,000 or $10,000 or $15,000 in interest that's going to get tacked on. Like, yeah, surprise, COVID. Like the rent's not going to do that. So that to answer your point, that's what's going on with that.
Yeah, man, this is crazy. I wonder what landlord-tenant court's going to be like in New York, particularly.
Madness.
Like it's going to be, because it was never not
murder episodes, bro.
Yeah, it was never not a shit show. Like even running at 100% capacity, it was never not a shit show. So it's like there's going to be probably tens of thousands of cases. Like as soon as this shit is done, and it, it's going to be.
They might have to have, honestly, to go to Ed Boy's point, they might have to like cut a completely separate bill just for rent forgiveness or mortgage forgiveness. They honestly might.
Yeah.
Because I don't see them. I honestly don't see them just like baking it into whatever this COVID relief package is. And honestly, if cases continue, this is just part 2, I believe, or part 3. I've lost count of like what movie we're on. This is like part 3. They have to do another relief package at some point if cases continue. So it's like, yo, you're gonna have to do a separate one just for rent forgiveness and relief, because it's so much money and so much bullshit that these tenants, as well as these landlords, because I'm not forgetting them, they're going through it as well. Let's not make it like an isolated thing. Like, yo, if you got people that can't pay the rent, or what I mean, how are you going to pay your mortgage if you yourself aren't working, or your hours are slashed? It's a lot to think about.
Yeah, it's a shit show.